All right, what's up, family? So a hard foul, a fury stare down, teammates jumping in to pull apart two players who just a few months before were on the same side. And this wasn't just some random scuffle on the court. This was the tipping point of a conflict that had been brewing for months. A conflict born from a professional divorce that left an entire locker room feeling ghosted. So, how did we get here, you may ask? So, how did two former teammates, Sophia Cunningham and DeWanna Bonner, end up in a feud this bitter and this public? And this was never just about basketball, this was personal. And today we're diving into the real story behind the beef between Cunningham and Bonner and how a superstar's shocking exit sparked one of the WNBA's hottest new rivalries. So, coming into the 2025 WNBA season, things were looking up for the Indiana Fever. Big time with a roster already supercharged by a rookie phenom, Caitlin Clark. The front office made some power moves to build a legit contender. Two of their splashiest signings, Sophia Cunningham and six-time All-Star DeWanna Bonner. On paper, this looked like a dream team, a perfect mix of veteran savvy and prime-time talent. And Cunningham, a tough as nails shooter, was a key piece of the puzzle. Bonner, a future Hall of Famer with rings to her name, was brought in to be the veteran anchor for a young squad. At first, everything seemed great. Even Clark was signing Bonner's praises for her veteran leadership, and the mission was simple: go win a title. Bonner was in the starting lineup for the first three games, and while the team was still gelling, you could see the talent was there, and she was a respected leader, and she already knew Cunningham from their team together in Phoenix. And these weren't strangers, but as the season kicked off, cracks started to show, not just in the win column, but in the locker room itself. And what looked so good on paper was about to fall apart fast and loud. So after starting just three games, DeWanna Bonner was moved to the bench. She played six more games for the Fever, but then all of a sudden she was listed as a out for personal reasons. And that personal leave stretched on, and Bonner went completely quiet. Fans were confused, and teammates were left completely in the dark. And then the bomb dropped. Bonner wanted out of Indiana and had asked for a trade. So when the Fever couldn't find a trade partner, they had no other option but to waiver. After just 9 games, a marquee offseason signing was gone. In a public statement, Bonner said that despite our shared goals and excitement, I felt the fit did not work out. And sources said the situation in Indiana felt off from the beginning. And Bonner quickly re signed with the Phoenix Mercury, the team where she spent her first 11 years and was reunited with her fiance, Alyssa Thomas. And while Bonner claimed that getting moved to the bench wasn't the issue, the way she just vanished and it left a bad taste. And it wasn't just an empty spot on the roster, it was the total lack of closure that stung. So for the players still in the Indiana locker room, especially Sophia Cunningham, this wasn't just business. It felt like they'd been abandoned, and how it all went down became the heart of this growing beef. And then Sophia Cunningham picked up a mic on August 5th episode of her podcast, Show Me Something. She let the world know just how frustrated the locker room was. And then Cunningham didn't pull any punches, confirming that Bonner had offered zero explanation to her teammates before she left. Being ghosted was the real slap in the face. So then Cunningham laid it all out, and she said, I'm still rooting for her. I want her to end her career and be happy, but I also think like it's okay to be professional about it. And she then explained exactly what professional would have looked like. Send a text to your teammates. You don't even have to say, love you guys, say sorry, this didn't work out, good luck. There's a way to handle that, I think. So those comments blew up. It was the first time anyone from the inside has spoken so candidly about the raw feelings in the Fever locker room. And for Sophia, it was a matter of respect, not about the decision to leave, which most Indiana Fever fans and myself felt like the same way about. It was a matter of respect. But the complete radio silence that followed, she also had the backs of the Fever fans who booed Bonner when she returned to Indiana, saying that after everything that happened, Bonner should have seen it coming. And Cunningham had to draw a line in the sand, and this was no longer just a professional split; it was a public fight, and it was only a matter of time before it exploded on the court. So that brings us to August 8th, 2025. A game between the Fever of Mercury and Phoenix. You can feel the tension in the air. All thanks to, Cunningham's podcast comments just days earlier. With the Fever down in the third quarter, the Beat finally bowled over. Bonner ripped the ball from Cunningham. Right after an inbound pass, it was a clean steal but forceful. Cunningham's reaction was instant. She wrapped up Bonner in a hard foul, making no attempt to play the ball. She was sending a message. As the refs reviewed the play, the real show started. Cunningham clearly heated, got into a verbal war with Bonner, a Mercury forward Satu Sabali, and it got so intense that the Fever's Damaris Dantas had to physically hold Cunningham back as she kept yelling at her old teammate. And the refs hit Cunningham with a clear pad foul, but the call hardly mattered. And this was all the frustration from the podcast and all the bad blood playing out live for the world to see. And it was more than a foul, it was a confrontation everyone knew was coming. And this rivalry is just getting heated up, and it's obviously obvious there's more to this story. And if you're loving this breakdown, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our deep dives into the WNBA's biggest stories, and let us know in the comments whose side are you on, Team Cunningham or Team Bonner. So after the on-court clash, the Mercury took over and rolled to a 95-60 win. Bonner got the last laugh on the scoreboard, dropping a high 23 points on her old team, while Cunningham managed a solid 18 in the loss. But honestly, the final score felt like a footnote to the drama, and a video of the altercation went viral, sparking a massive debate among fans about loyalty, respect, and professionalism in sports. And Cunningham later confirmed on her podcast that the on-court drama was 1,000% because of what she had said about Bonner's exit, which we'll get to the clip in a minute. But she felt Bonner didn't listen to her whole take, just the part where she called her unprofessional, which we know nowadays people don't look at the whole context of things. They only look at 60 seconds clips. So Cunningham then threw more fuel on the fire, calling the Mercury just drama to me. Hitting the bad blood went beyond just her and Bonner, and she acknowledged the blowout loss but couldn't resist the final shot, saying, "I knew we lost by 30, but I still got mine off." And the one line tells you everything you need to know about this feud. And it's not about wins and losses anymore. It's a personal battle. And for the Fever, Bonner's exit wasn't just a roster move. It created a rivalry that's going to deliver drama for a long time to come. Also, to add some more details to the story, it also seems to wonder maybe that's why, or that is why, the dildo got thrown directly at Sophie Cunningham with this feud and everything going on. But with no further ado, let's check out the clip and what Sophie Cunningham had to say.
There was maybe a little bit of beef because of our last podcast with like how I mentioned that some people could handle
I wanted
situations.
To ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was because of what you said last week?
Hell yeah, 1,000%.
I saw that and was like, there's no way they're like tussling and like roughing each other up because Sophie like said you were polite for the most, like you just said it could have been handled differently. But I was like, oh, they're just like old teammates kind of roughing each other up. And it was like your old team. I was like, there's no way it's because of the podcast. But it sounds like it was.
Well, I do. I think that like our teams don't really like each other anyway, just because of like, I don't know, just kind of like her leaving. Some of those players used to be under our coaching staff. And so there's just like a lot there. But
yeah,
I could have been way meaner, right? Like I told her like, she didn't listen to the whole clip. She just saw the thing about like she could have handled it more professional, which like honestly,
right.
Everyone that's talked to me besides their team has like, yeah, she could have. And so it's like,
and I believe that Sophie Cunningham was very objective. Two things could be true at the same time. She can wish DeWanna Bonner the best of luck and wish her best wishes and how she want to end her career and be happy. But also, you could have been more professional, which is the constructive criticism, which is also the truth.
Duh, but that seems just drama to me. I don't know, but I don't know. I went home and I started like hitting some threes. And I was talking all shit. Oh god, it felt so good. I know we lost by 30, but I still got light off.
Well, then also you can see how ambitious and how motivated Sophia Cunningham is, because she used that fuel to motivate her play to get better, because she said she was shooting threes and she was talking trash, right? So when you look at everything, you also have to look at why she also said that team is just drama to me, because when she was with the Phoenix Mercury, they were talking about targeting Caitlin Clark, and she had also came out with that on her first episode of the podcast and let it be known that these um old teammates, when she was with the Phoenix Mercury, were basically jealous of Caitlin Clark and coming at her, which all of us as fans knew that they were coming at and targeting Caitlin Clark. But finally, someone had the honest truth to say it, which was Sophia Cunningham. And then now you have to look at this thing of the unprofessionalism with DeWanna Bonner, and it's all just murky waters. It's all just chaotic and drama. So you got to understand the context of why she say that team is just drama to me. So where does that leave us? We have a partnership that looked perfect on paper but fell apart in 9 games. And we have a star player who goes to their team, leaving them feeling disrespected. And we have another player who used her platform to call it out in an on-court brawl that put all that emotion on full display. And the story of Sophia Cunningham and DeWanna Bonner is a perfect storm of professional drama and personal beef. And it's a potent reminder that in sports, the line between business and personal is always blurry. And Cunningham felt Bonner was unprofessional, and Bonner clearly didn't appreciate being called out for it. And this is far from over. But you can bet that every future Fever Mercury game will be circled, I should say circled on the calendar, not just for basketball, but for the next chapter in this incredible saga. And it's a rivalry born from a messy divorce, fueled by public callouts and ignited by on-court fire. And the only question now is, what's next? And thanks for watching for deep dives into the WNBA's biggest stories. And make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think about the next chapter and what the next chapter holds for Cunningham and Bonner. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.